Recently, HowTheWorldWorks, otherwise known as Lee Doran, has accused Thunderfoot of defamation for featuring a video on his channel accusing Lee of using sock accounts to promote his HowTheWorldWorks videos. The featured video was not made by Thunderfoot, but was instead made by another YouTube user named Cristoballs. This made me think that Lee might not fully understand the nuances and particulars of what does and does not count as defamation in a legal context. So in the interest of edifying him and the general public, I thought I would make this short video explaining what does and what does not qualify as defamation. For starters, if someone made a video called Lee Doran Collects the Soiled Panties of Preteen Girls, they would be guilty of defamation, because it's completely untrue that Lee Doran collects the soiled panties of preteen girls. But if Thunderfoot, or anyone else for that matter, watched or shared that video with other people, they would not be guilty of defamation. If someone wrote a book entitled Lee Doran Has a Fetish for Syphilitic Grandmothers, that would be defamation. Unless, of course, they state it as a conjecture rather than as a fact, as in, does Lee Doran have a fetish for syphilitic grandmothers? But either way, if Thunderfoot bought that book and placed it on his shelf, that would not be defamation. If someone made a documentary film called Concrete Proof That Lee Doran Sodomizes Goats, that would be defamation. At least it would be if the film failed to provide concrete proof that Lee Doran sodomizes goats. But even if there were no such proof, Thunderfoot could see that film and praise it to all of his friends, and his doing so would not qualify as defamation. If someone went on national TV and said, Lee Doran has had carnal relations with his own feces, that could count as defamation, if that person did not have a good faith basis for making that claim. Such as, for example, this sworn affidavit from his ex-girlfriend attesting that Lee Doran has had carnal relations with his own feces. But if Thunderfoot told all his friends that he heard that Lee Doran has had carnal relations with his own feces, it was on TV, that would not be defamation. Lastly, if someone took a whole collection of defamatory statements and couched them in the context of a video clarifying what does and what does not count as defamation, then everyone who saw that could rate it, favorite it, feature it on their channels, and subscribe to the person who made that video, and no one at any point in that process would be guilty of defamation. I hope that clarifies things.